WCLE, welcome in here to the 4 o'clock hour. 8 minutes after 4 o'clock is your local time. Let's hit a quick check of traffic, and then we're going to be speaking with Chris Young with Health Markets. We'll do that here in just a second, but right now it's your Don Ledford Cleveland Mixed Highway Patrol update. Don Ledford in Cleveland, your exclusive home of Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Cleveland, located on North Lee Highway, right beside Bradley Square Mall, or anytime at donledford.com, where they say yes. We're keeping up with that incident that was going on down in the Ottawa area. Traffic still moving slow in that area right around mile marker 12, heading northbound on I-75. So please keep that in mind. All right, we're going to get a reset right here as we're live on mixtv.tv, also live on the radio right now with you. As I alluded to just a few moments ago, Chris Young is with us for the afternoon drive from Health Markets. And I want to emphasize right out of the gate here as we welcome in Chris, Health Markets with an S, because it's just not a one-size-fits-all what you guys do. We'd use it singularly.
Yeah, so you've got some places that just will talk about one specific plan or even one specific carrier, and we really have the majority of the plans in the area and carriers, so it's just we sit down and just figure out what's the right fit for you.
Yeah, so. Again, Chris Young is here with us with Health Markets. Very important time of the year coming up for you guys. Actually, as we were talking off air, that begins a week from tomorrow, next Wednesday. We're going to get into that in just a second, Chris. But first of all, for those listening and watching in this afternoon, Health Markets, explain that to everyone.
So we've got kind of the best of both worlds. We're a nationwide brokerage, but I'm an independent agent, so I'm here locally. So basically, that just means that we're a local company with a nationwide backing. We make sure, the nationwide side makes sure we're doing things compliantly the way that it needs to be done. Locally just means I'm here and I don't want to upset people and see them in the grocery store. So,
right. And people in this community, I think more so in Cleveland and Bradley County, they love that interaction. We love in this community, we love being out and meeting people, going to quote unquote an office and just seeing somebody, having that face to face. And I think that's more just because of the friendly, I know Athens says we're the friendly city, but we're very friendly here in Bradley County when it comes to people that we do business with.
Yeah, that's something, so I've been working with the Chamber a lot over the past year or so, and that's something, just getting out and actually getting to meet a lot of the individuals here in town, is just everybody is just super friendly. And while technology is an important part of our lives,
sure,
nothing can really replace the face-to-face interaction, personal interactions.
Yeah.
I think kind of when you're alluding to people going to the office, I was thinking every time someone walks in my office, I've got like a little kiddie section where kids can come in. Family has their children.
Sure.
They can come in. The kids will be entertained while we're sitting there running our appointments for health insurance, and it's almost a running joke where everybody walks in, they see this tiny little blue table, it's like, well, I can't sit there. It's like, yep, it's funny every time I hear it.
Yeah, it is one of those things, but you want to say, well, we're gonna, not that we're challenging your tech, how smart you are, but we're going to dumb it down to where we could sit at that blue table and we're going to make it all work out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that. So I've got a guy that I do some work with, Jonathan Smith at Smith Automotive, and when I've talked to him about it, I always allude to all guys like to pretend they're car guys, and
right.
We're like, we start talking cars, we know what it is, but the second my car makes a sound I don't know what it is, I'm going to send it to them.
That's right.
Before I did health insurance, I'd like to pretend that I knew what I was talking about, but I had absolutely no clue. And I figure that's, you start getting into just the weird terminology that insurance uses and just how it all works when this applies and that applies. It's complicated. It's a bunch of numbers on a page, and you've got to take this hypothetical situation and make it so that, how is it going to feel in a real day-to-day situation?
Right. Again, Chris Young is here with us. Health Markets is who he represents. We talked about how important next Wednesday is, November the 1st. What are you going to be hoping to help people with starting next Wednesday?
So starting next Wednesday is the open enrollment for health insurance. So you go through the marketplace. It's where you can get tax credits and stuff like that. But it's also a good time of year just to review your health plan. I've got several clients who aren't on the marketplace, and we've gotten some plans off the marketplace for them, and we use this time as a frame just to sit down and make sure they're still getting the best value. Sometimes, it's simple as, I have clients who will send me an email and say, hey, is this where I need to be? I review a few things. I'm like, yep, you don't even need to come in. Or it's, you know what, you need to come in because XYZ is looking different. Or I've got clients that just want to come in and every time and sit down and talk about it, and that's what we do. So
that little face-to-face interaction we're talking about. So so basically, you're set up to do whatever the customer wants. Some of it could be done through email. Some could be done. I'm sure you're still doing, of course, in-person meetings, and then of course the Zoom meetings and things like that. So whatever someone is comfortable doing, you're able to accommodate.
Yeah, we do online meetings, like you said, with Zoom. We do face-to-face. I can do it via email. I can do it via telephone calls and emails. Like, there's all sorts of different ways that we can get it done, and I try to find the way that works best for the most people at once. I'm just going to be completely honest. When you have a month and a half to meet with absolutely everybody, you do everything you can to sit down and talk to everybody, but there's only so many hours in a day.
Absolutely.
So my goal is to help, especially my existing clients, to help them out, but also, I want to help more individuals out. So I try to make it as painless as possible for everybody involved.
Well, what's the hardest things? I mean, every industry is challenging at times. That's why you have special people like you doing this. What are like the top 1-2 things that either the questions that are asked, or what do you think that we don't know that you kind of start that conversation and get us down the right path?
A lot of times people feel like they'll think right where they're at is where they need to be. It's worked really well for a few years, and they don't realize that there are other even better options out there. I had a friend who last year was on a health plan, and he loved it. It was great. But when I was talking to him, I was like, that plan only has one hospital and network. Whereas we could move you to this plan, and it's a lower premium, and you've got more hospital options, and your doctor's still in network. So what works well for somebody may not be really their best option.
Gotcha.
And so it's my job to just sit down and say, hey, here's what I recommend.
Does things change annually? I mean, I know there's probably a group of things that pretty much stay consistent. But every year, is there curveballs that are out there that, as a consumer, unless you're just reading books and magazines and watching infomercials all hours of the night, you probably don't know about?
Yeah, so the biggest thing in the health insurance world, and I'm going to do my best not to sound comcomplicated, but when the government gets involved with insurance, there's only so simple you can make it.
Involved with anything, Chris. Let's just be honest.
but based on some numbers we're starting to see, it looks like there's going to be a little shakeup in the way tax credits are getting calculated.
Gotcha.
So, there's the company that seems like I've been marketing the most in the past few years, just because it's been the best fit for most people.
Right.
Honestly, it looks like next year it might not be the best option to go with. Starting next year. So next year they may think my name is mud because I don't talk about any of their plans because I'm talking about somebody else's plan.
Right. And so it does change enough to where you need to keep up with it. Either get a thumbs up from you, like you said, you had a phone call the other day, and you kind of went through a couple quick things, and they said, yeah, you're good. But there's also times that you can save people money, make sure they're getting more, I guess what I would say, bang for your buck. I guess is kind of the dumbing it down. And sometimes that's what we need to do. I mean, because we don't understand. I think sometimes to confuse us, some people just talk over our heads, and we just don't get it. And when I leave a place, an office like yourselves there, and I don't understand anything, really that should go back to saying shame on the person and then shame on me for just pretending I knew what was going on when I left. And that's what you guys make sure that you don't do. I mean, you're there to say, hey, raise your hand if you got a question. We're going to answer everything and make sure that you are completely satisfied when you leave the office or call or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I, as much as I will try to make sure everybody understands exactly what's going on when they leave, again, it's insurance, so unless you do this day in and day out, you're not going to fully understand it. and you're going to have questions. I had 2 people from yesterday call me today because they're like, okay, we talked about this 24 hours ago. I just wanted to verify a few things. And we went through and we verified everything just to make sure that they were still on the same page because they had slept since we last talked. And they were just wanting, and some things were going to be working differently for them next year than it was this year. So it was a lot of information to process. So it's definitely a matter of, we're here to answer questions, moving forward. We don't completely disappear unless it's like the 1 or 2 weeks in the summer where we take a vacation. Then it might be a little hard to get a hold of us, but you'll know that we're on vacation, not returning calls.
Again, Chris Young's joined us, Health Markets. Next Wednesday is a very important day for what Chris does there with Health Markets. And so basically we just wanted to bring you in, kind of make sure people know that you're there, remind them, and from this point, from now to next Wednesday, and then after next Wednesday, I know this is a 2-part question. What do we need to be doing between now and next Wednesday, and then what do we need to be doing after next Wednesday?
So between now and next Wednesday, all you need to do is be getting your appointment set up for after next Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I can't talk about plans until after next Wednesday anyway.
Next Wednesday, okay.
And then following that, it's just getting in and we'll make sure that everybody's taken care of. So the enrollment period, because the enrollment period is working a little differently than it has in years past. So we've got from November 1st to December 15th for health insurance, and that's all for a January 1st start date. However, starting the 16th of December and going through January 15th, we can still do new enrollments, and that would take effect February 1st.
Oh, okay.
So really and truly, we have from November 1st to January 15th to make changes. It's just how quickly are you trying to get your plan changed and stuff like that.
It might be a billing cycle, if I'm kind of saying this right, until you get the benefit if it's a February start date.
Yeah, and it's one of those just depending on, and I would rather take some time and make sure that people are where they need to be.
Sure.
And if that means that 1 month out of the year you're not quite where you need to be, that's not the most ideal situation, but it's better than you being stuck there the whole year.
For the whole year, yeah.
So
great information, Chris. We definitely appreciate this. Chris Young, Health Markets. If people are intrigued and they want to reach out to start getting these appointments scheduled, tell us how we need to do that and anything else that we might need to know here before we go.
Yeah, so you can reach me on my cell phone. My cell phone's 423-313-7987, so you can call or text that number. Email is my first initial and last name, so cyoung@healthmarkets, as you said, with an s.com. And it's really just, hey, I need help with my health insurance.
Yeah.
I need to set up a time. Oftentimes this year, I will say this, just so nobody's taken off guard, oftentimes this is where my assistant Angela really steps up, and oftentimes it's like, hey, someone sends me that text, I say, be happy to help you out. My assistant Angela is going to give you a call and you'll get it scheduled.
Sure.
Because
gotta have some help this time of year, Chris. Come on.
Exactly. And the thing, I always try to tell my clients, if we're doing our jobs right, I'm in an appointment and can't answer the phone. How many people want you to answer the phone when you're sitting there talking to a person one-on-one?
And then get into another whole conversation and say, oh, what was we talking about?
Yeah.
So think about that,
so Angela's there to help facilitate making sure other people are being taken care of in that time frame while I'm helping people face to face. So.
Well, Chris, we definitely appreciate you coming in, and we know this is a tasking job. We know that a lot of people stress out a lot about this. Mm-hmm. So, put that to the side. Bring all those worries to Chris, and he'll be happy to help you navigate through all of the red tape, the things that makes you nervous, the questions that you got at Health Markets. Chris, I'm going to leave you with a final word, buddy. Anything that you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, if you come in, bring either coffee or an energy drink, because I'll probably need it.
There you go. So a little extra. Chris is asking for some help. It's going to be. I know it's something that kind of like tax season for people that does taxes and all those things. I mean, there's a certain crunch time that you just kind of think about it as a big funnel, and you got to funnel it all in and put it all right back out in a small period of time.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. Chris will be more than happy to help you. He's local. He's right here. He's a part of our community. 3 children, is that right?
3 children.
2 boys and 1 girl?
Yep. And guess which one runs the house?
I would say the young lady does.
Yes, definitely.
So if you want someone that's right here involved in our community, someone that you're going to run into the grocery store and those type things, that's the type people we love here in Cleveland and Bradley County. Check out Chris Young with Health Markets. Chris, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Get us some sleep as much as you can.
I'll do what I can.
and then we'll make sure people bring coffee and energy drinks.
That works.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay with us. Mix 104.1 WCLE.
Tennessee Wesleyan University offers